What is up, everyone, and welcome back. This is Sora Synn Gaming here, playing the games that you might be curious about. Today's game is called Lord of Heroes by Clover Games and was globally released in September 6, 2020. Now let's get on with the pros and cons, shall we? Starting with the pros, the game has gorgeous anime-style cel-shaded graphics. Like, really, the game is super pretty. It's really quite nice to look at. When you put it up to the max settings, it's very beautiful to watch, and the animation is very fluid and smooth. Also, it runs at 60 frames per second, which is also very, very good. Something I'm always happy to see in more mobile games these days. But like I said in all my other videos, I would hope that they start to pump up the frames to make use of the higher frame rate phones in the future. You can also choose a gender for your main character, which I thought was pretty cool. Because gender locking is a thing of the past. More games need to stop doing that. There is some mild customization for your main character, and of course, having a main character in a gacha game in itself is a super big pro. Like, that doesn't happen very often. I know it happens in Genshin Impact, but you can't customize your character in Genshin Impact. But in this one, you can customize it, and it's actually you are the main protagonist in the story. Story is also very engaging and involves you directly since you are the main protagonist in the story, as I just said. This is something I have not experienced in many gacha games. Usually, you are going for a ride on a story that you're not really a part of. But this time you are the main protagonist and all the heroes look up to you, which I think is really, really cool. Most scenes have voice acting. Japanese voices will be coming soon. I'm looking forward to that. I definitely have more of a bias towards Japanese voice acting than Korean, though while playing this game, the Korean voices have been growing on me. The combat animation is bright and flashy. It's very cool, very, very fast, action-paced, and really nice to watch. Especially if you're just leaving it on auto combat, it's just fun to just watch all the cool combat moves while you're playing. The ultimate skills are also really, really cool. They're so bright and flashy and in your face, and the animations are really, really something else. I have played for quite a few hours already, and I can say I have not been bored of rewatching the ultimate skills play over and over again. Not yet, anyway. There's lots of different combat locations, so with each different zone, they do look different. They are a little bit maybe not that exciting. Kind of like Overhit had a more interesting scenery, but this one is kind of more dumbed down while the characters look more in detail. I mean, it's not terrible, but it could be better. There is also PvP, so you can play against other players. Of course, it's not in real time, so don't expect any like super intense PvP arena combat. It's just against offline players. Let's see, moving on from that, there are also dungeons. In those dungeons you can find things for your promoting and leveling up your character. You can also do dungeons for gold, things like that. So there are those out there. There are also dungeons out there for you to do. There's no hero gacha, only for weapons and armor. So you can pick the specific heroes that you like. You just have to save up the premium currency to buy them. Bosses do get progressively harder. Now this I did notice. I think in the fourth zone, I forget, but I had to stop auto combat and actually had to do manual combat because the bosses were kicking my butt, and I had to really focus more on healing and shields because my gear was just on par, like my combat power was just on par with the required combat power for that zone. So it was quite a tough battle. I had to do it a few times. The recruitment videos for heroes are quite pretty as well. Of course, it's the same for each different hero, but sometimes they might have a different reaction while they're being recruited by you. So it's quite nice to watch those as well. Auto combat is actually quite necessary in this game for grinding, but like I said before, you probably won't be using it for harder bosses unless you're super OP and have spent a lot of money to boost your characters early in the game. There's of course guilds and guild raids, and of course your energy, and this one's a really good one. Your energy also refills quite quickly. There have been some hero collector games I've played where your energy takes like 24 hours to get back to full again, but in this one it only takes a few hours and then you can keep on playing. Move on to the cons. Some heroes are actually locked behind a paywall. This I'm not sure if maybe after a certain period of time, maybe when the promotion for that hero has passed, then you can buy it with gems. Most likely that is the case. I can't imagine them hiding certain heroes behind a paywall permanently, but only time will tell. Character creator is pretty basic. I mean, you know, what can you expect? It's a hero collector, but I'm a sucker for character creation, so if they could have made it a little bit more in-depth to give your main protagonist a bit more uniqueness, that would have been pretty cool. I think I mentioned this before in the pros, but this is a con. Some conversations are not voice acted. I would personally prefer if all the conversations were voice acted, even the side mission-y stuff. You know, when you're watching it and you think, oh, it's cool, there's voices, and then suddenly it goes silent, it kind of puts you out of the immersion. It's kind of cool when you're just watching it and you can hear everyone talking, but then when it suddenly just goes quiet, then you have to read it. Well, of course you have to read it anyway because they're speaking in Korean. What I mean is that suddenly you feel like you're forced to pay more attention because suddenly no one's talking anymore except in text. It's not as much fun. It's also pretty slow to promote your heroes. I've noticed that the amount of promotion materials is quite high, and then when you're in the dungeons or world zones, the materials are randomized, so you have to do it many times and hope that you just keep getting a lot of the specific item you need, because you need like 30 or more, and then if you're only getting like 1 or 2, and then maybe you're getting like some of another type that you don't need, it does take time. There's also a lack of group content, only PvP and guild raids. I don't know if that's really a con. I mean, it's nice to be able to do things solo, but sometimes I feel like it would be nice if they had group dungeons as well. Just add that in as well would be cool. Guilds also seem very lackluster in what they provide. Doesn't seem to be any significant guild buffs. So you're not really giving people much incentive to be in guilds except to do the guild raid. Other than that, they feel like they don't really need to be there. I've already experienced that a few times in my guild. I've had people leaving because I guess they just didn't see any reason to be in a guild. Getting crystals for recruiting heroes can be fairly expensive, especially for 4-star heroes. It takes a while to save 6k crystals. Now this, yeah, it does take quite a while, because I'm not sure how you earn crystals once you finish completing all the zones. Because that's how you get them, from completing the zones for the first time, completing dungeons for the first time. But once all those first time things are done, I'm not entirely sure how you can farm crystals. I imagine it's going to get really slow once you've cleared all the first time zones. So that'll be interesting to see. The auto equip seems kind of dodgy. It can't make up its mind on what type of equipment to put on your heroes. It's probably best not to use it in the later stages and just learn what good armor is best for your heroes. because I've had experiences where you press the auto equip and then it'll make you weaker, and then later it'll go stronger again, and then later weaker again. It just can't make up its mind. So it's better you don't really rely on it too much and learn the armors and weapons that are best suited for the heroes you use. I myself am guilty of that, and I also have to learn. So that's definitely a tip for myself as well. Now, if I have missed any pros and cons that you have experienced yourself, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you have to say about the game, what you think is good and what you think is bad. So yeah, let's start talking about it in the comments. Yeah, so other than that, as far as I can tell, I can't seem to put Lord of Heroes down. I'm really enjoying playing it. I even created my own alliance. I mentioned that before. The guild is what it is, called FuwaFuwa. If we have space, you're more than welcome to join. I give this game a 4 out of 5, and I highly recommend you give it a go. It's not very often you find a hero collector game that makes you literally the main protagonist and all the heroes look up to you. It felt very engaging and was a lot of fun. The only thing holding me back is I keep running out of energy farming materials to get stronger. I do hope you'll give it a go. Join my alliance if we have available spots. Remember to like and subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon to stay up to date on my uploads. With that all said and done, I'll catch you all in the next video. This is Sora Synn Gaming, signing off.